elevator situation, only 4 elevators come to the 18th floor that stop here on the 9th. It takes several minutes to get one. It's a nightmare. Every day. It's killing me, Judge.
There's stairs, Judge. They also,
Thank you, Mr. Shipp.
You're welcome.
We are making a habit of this.
It's not, it really isn't our fault. Sometimes we wait 10, 12, 13 minutes for an elevator.
Plus, we have to deal with public defenders that keep past us. You know, what's going up is not coming down?
We'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
All right, counsel, I want to take up a couple of matters before we actually invite the jury to join us. Mr. Shapiro, over the break, over the 15-minute break, advised me of a problem, something that is being reported. Mr. Shapiro, do you want to enlighten the prosecutors about this? Counsel, why don't you have your witness have a seat, because it'll be a bit before we get there. I don't think we need to reproach.
You're not going to address it now?
No, I just want to put on the record what the state of the situation is.
I have informed them of our conversation, Your Honor.
All right. Well, Mr. Shapiro, this is something I need to put on the record at this point. You've indicated to the court that apparently the chief of police has made some indication that he's received a communication from this court.
No, it was reported to me that there were some news reports, not directly from the chief of police, but from some other members in the media, that there were communications between yourself and the chief of police regarding whether or not the chief of police should make any statements regarding this case. I thought it incumbent upon myself as an officer of the court to inform Your Honor in case you had not heard those. Your Honor has assured me, which is exactly what I anticipated was the case, that you have not talked with the chief of police, but I wanted to make sure that if these rumors are out in the press and they're reported to me, if they're reported to others, that it's something Your Honor would and should want to know about.
I think perhaps this is a misinterpretation. If you recall, about 3 months ago, when we were dealing with the leaks problem, at the request of both parties and with the consent of both parties, I sent a letter to Chief Williams asking him to do whatever he could to investigate the leaks and stop anything that was leaking out from his department.
That was at our request.
Right. That was the only communication this court has had with the chief of police.
I think the record is clear, and that was exactly what we anticipated, and I think it's very important that the press accurately report.
All right, thank you for bringing that to my attention, Mr. Shapiro. There's one other matter. I noted that Tracy Savage, good morning, Ms. Savage, is a guest in our court today as a media representative, and I recall that she is on the defense witness list, and there is a witness exclusion order at this time, and I wondered what the party's position was about Ms. Savage remaining.
May we approach him over? Yes.
Sure.
Is she here today?
Ms. Savage, would you stand and wave to Mr. Cochran? All right, Mr. Cochran.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Your Honor, in the matter involving Ms. Savage, who's with us today in a reporting capacity, we discussed with Mr. Simpson, and we understand that she has a job to do. And I believe that on the issue with regard to the socks, where we think her testimony would be relevant, I would suggest to Channel 4 that she not be in here covering those days, because we'd have to ask her to be excused. For today, we have no problem. I believe with regard to much of the foundational material, Ms. Clark and I will be able to stipulate, because it was a date in which she and I mutually called for an internal affairs investigation, because there was these leaks and results when the socks were still there. So our position is that she can stay here now. We will waive the court's order so she can stay here today, and ask only that Channel 4 be fair in their reporting.
All right. And I take, Ms. Clark, you have no objection to that as well?
That's correct, Your Honor. The people have no objection. To a large extent, I think that the matters that counsel is going to be seeking to put before the jury are a matter of public record, if not actually a matter of videotape that has already been broadcast, and I don't see any problem with Ms. Savage remaining.
All right. Then objections having been waived, will allow Ms. Savage to remain for those portions of the proceedings that have nothing to do with the DNA testing. However, Ms. Savage, you should have your station manager reassign you when we get to the DNA issues. All right. Also, you're not to watch any television coverage of the DNA issues. All right. Let's have the jurors, please.
Judge, did we reschedule the motion to quash on Marguerite Thomas?
We have not yet been able to make contact with Mr. Jones.
Yeah, so we're clear. Your last statement about not watching any television coverage regarding DNA hearing, that was not a joke.
No.
That was not a joke. Some
No, that
people
was-
laugh, but that's not a joke.
No, I think Ms. Savage understands the court's order, correct? All right, she indicates in the affirmative. To you for having kept you in the small room so long this morning. I thought we would get started within 10 or 15 minutes of our 9 o'clock start time, and unfortunately, other things came up that I had to deal with. In your defense, Deputy Magnera urged me not to bring you down until 10 o'clock, but I thought we'd get it done sooner, but these things happen. All right, are the people ready to call their next witness?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
All right, Mr. Darden.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The people call Ron Shipp to the stand, Your Honor.
Mr. Shipp.
Raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly swear that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Please be seated and state and spell your first and last names for the record.
Ronald Shipp, Ronald Shipp.
Thank you.
Mr. Darden.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Mr. Shipp, are you acquainted with the defendant in this case?
Yes, I am.
How long have you known him?
Approximately 26 years.
And do you recall the circumstances in which you first met him?
Yes, I do.
What were those circumstances?
When I was about 16 years old, my brother, Mike, played against OJ in high school up in San Francisco. And he had come down to Los Angeles right after OJ had won the Heisman Trophy. And myself, Mike, and my brother Skip went over to OJ's house and congratulated him. That was when I was 16 years old.
And did you and the defendant develop a friendship after that initial meeting?
We weren't very close at that time. I'd run into him from time to time, and every time I'd see him, he'd ask me how was Mike doing, and but we weren't really that close at that time.
Okay. Well, as the years went on, did you develop a closer relationship?
I'd say approximately from about 1978 on.
Did you visit the defendant's home?
Yes, I did.
On how many occasions?
How many occasions?
Yes.
Gee. See, in '78, I was a police officer at the time, and I was assigned to West Los Angeles Division. And at that time, I would go up there on occasion, probably approximately maybe 2 times a week, up until 1982.
You were an LAPD officer?
Yes, I was.
When did you join the LAPD?
1974.
And you're no longer an LAPD officer?
No, I'm not.
And when did you leave the LAPD?
I believe it was October of 1989.
And you say that during the time that you were a police officer, you were assigned to West LA Station?
And I was assigned to West LA from 1978 to 82. 2.
And West LA Station has jurisdiction over Brentwood, is that right?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Now, a moment ago, you testified that there was a time period in which you would go to the defendant's house perhaps 2 times a week.
Approximately.
On those occasions, were you on duty?
I'd say half. Sometimes I'd come by in the patrol car, and other times I'd go by there and play some tennis.
You played tennis at the defendant's home?
Yes, I did.
On his tennis court?
Yes, I did.
On those occasions when you played tennis at the defendant's home, was he at the home?
Sometimes he'd be there, and sometimes he wouldn't.
Did you have to get permission to play tennis on his tennis court?
No, I did not.
You could just show up and play tennis.
Yeah, OJ trusted me, so I didn't really have to call. I'd call and talk to.
Overruled.
So you didn't have to get permission to play tennis there?
No, all I had to do was clear with. I'd call the maid, or whoever was there, and just let them know I was coming.
Okay. You said that OJ or the defendant trusted you?
Yes, he did. I thought he did.
Now, what period of time are we talking about here?
From playing tennis?
Yes.
Approximately from 1978 to 82.
Was there a security gate at the house on Rockingham at
Yes,
that
there
time?
was.
Did it require a security code or something to open the gate?
No, to my knowledge, there was just a button that you would push.
How about after 1982? Did you continue your relationship or your friendship with the defendant?
Yes, I did. I didn't go by there as frequent. Once I transferred downtown, and maybe I went over there maybe once every maybe 2-3 weeks.
Did you continue to play tennis?
Yes, I did.
On those occasions when you went to the defendant's home, while you were on duty, did you ever take other officers to the defendant's home as well?
Yes, I did.
Did other officers also play tennis?
There was only one officer I used to play with. Yeah, that I recall, it was one officer.
And what is that officer's name?
Chuck Smith.
And if you know, is he still a member of the LAPD?
Yeah, he's still at West LA.
Did other officers also visit the defendant at his home?
To my knowledge, no, unless they came over with me.
Okay. Well, did you take officers to the defendant's home other than Chuck Smith?
Yes, I did. If I was on patrol, sometimes I would take people over there. I used to get a kick out of not telling them where I was going and ringing the doorbell and have OJ come out and greet them.
How many other officers would you say you took to Rockingham?
Wow. I'd have to say approximately maybe 40 guys, maybe.
And were these 40 guys all members of the LAPD's West LA division or station?
Most of them were.
Was there ever any animosity or hostility between those 40 guys that you just described and the defendant?
No way. No.
Did any officer get the defendant's autograph?
Yeah, a few of them. I got autographs from OJ for a few of them. A couple were women that I got autographs for them and their kids, female partners.
West LA Division holds an annual Christmas party, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Was there ever an occasion where you were in charge of getting celebrities to come to the annual Christmas party?
One particular time, yes.
Do you recall which year that was?
I believe it was either 1980 or 81.
And did you arrange for a celebrity's appearance at the Christmas party?
I thought I did.
Who was that person?
OJ.
The defendant agreed to appear at the LAPD's annual Christmas party?
Yes, he did.
Did you ever meet Nicole Brown?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall when that was?
It was either 79 or 80. I'm not sure.
And were they married at the time?
No, they weren't.
Did you ever visit Nicole Brown at Rockingham?
Yes, I did.
On how many occasions?
I can't remember exactly when she moved in. So whenever she moved in, probably about maybe once a week. We were once again on patrol most of the time.
Okay. And did you consider Nicole Brown a friend?
Yes, I did.
As you did the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And do you and the defendant remain friends today?
Well, I still love the guy, but I don't know. I mean, this is a weird situation I'm sitting here in.
You say you still love her?
Sure.
Did you ever attend parties at the defendant's house?
Yes, I did.
Did you attend his wedding?
The reception.
Did you ever have intimate and personal conversations with him?
Yes, I did.
What kinds of things did you talk about during those personal and intimate conversations?
Sustained.
You understand the term intimate and personal?
Yes, I do.
Did you ever discuss your health with the defendant?
No, I did not.
Did you ever discuss your relationship with your wife with the defendant?
I don't believe so.
Did he ever discuss his relationship with his wife, Nicole, with you?
No foundation, Your Honor. This is a long time we're talking about. Irrelevant, perhaps.
I think this is foundational. Well, we're not going to content yet. Overruled. You can ask the foundational questions.
Did the defendant ever discuss his relationship with his wife, Nicole, with you?
Yes. Yes, he did.
You testified a moment ago that you understand the term intimate and personal, correct?
Yes, I do.
Could you give us some examples of some of the intimate and personal conversations you had with the defendant?
Objection, Your Honor. Yeah, we approached. Went off with proof.
All right, with the reporter, please. All right, thank you, counsel. Perhaps, Mr. Darden, you can give us a little tighter focus on our inquiry here.
And I'll withdraw the question.
All right.
In addition to playing tennis at the defendant's home, what kinds of other things did you and the officers you took to his home do?
Other than playing tennis, I never, officers I took over there, we didn't do anything else.
Did the defendant have a swimming pool?
Yes, he did.
Did you ever swim in the pool?
I did.
How about the other officers that you took over?
And when I took over, swam in the pool.
Now, do you know whether or not those other officers ever went back to the defendant's house on their own?
Not to my knowledge.
You have no first-hand knowledge of that.
I do not.
Now, were you still a member of the LAPD during the first week of January 1989?
Yes, I was.
And did you receive a telephone call from Nicole that week?
Yes, I did.
And did she ask you to do something?
Yes, she did.
What did she ask you to do?
Sustained.
Question, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
It is a question. What did she ask him to do?
And the content of that answer is hearsay.
I'm not asking for the answer to the question. He's asking for the question. It's not offering the truth of the understanding.
Sustained.
She asked you to do something.
Yes, she did.
And this was during a telephone call.
Yes, it was.
Did you call her or did she call you?
She called me.
Did she appear upset or sound upset at all?
No foundation, you know.
Overruled.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, she did.
Was she hysterical?
No, she was not.
And what did you do after she asked you to do something?
She asked me,
Objection, Your Honor. Non-responsive.
Sustained. Mr. Shipp, the question was, what did you do after the request
Oh,
was
I'm
made
sorry.
of you? Not what
when I got off of work, I went over there.
All right, thank you, counsel. Perhaps, Mr. Darden, you can give us a little tighter focus on our inquiry here.
And I'll withdraw the question.
All right.
In addition to playing tennis at the defendant's home, what kinds of other things did you and the officers you took to his home do?
Other than playing tennis, I never, officers I took over there, we didn't do anything else.
Did the defendant have a swimming pool?
Yes, he did.
Did you ever swim in the pool?
I did.
How about the other officers that you took over?
And when I took over, swam in the pool.
Now, do you know whether or not those other officers ever went back to the defendant's house on their own?
Not to my knowledge.
You have no first-hand knowledge of that.
I do not.
Now, were you still a member of the LAPD during the first week of January 1989?
Yes, I was.
And did you receive a telephone call from Nicole that week?
Yes, I did.
And did she ask you to do something?
Yes, she did.
What did she ask you to do?
Sustained.
Question, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
It is a question. What did she ask him to do?
And the content of that answer is hearsay.
I'm not asking for the answer to the question. He's asking for the question. It's not offering the truth of the understanding.
Sustained.
She asked you to do something.
Yes, she did.
And this was during a telephone call.
Yes, it was.
Did you call her or did she call you?
She called me.
she appear upset or sound upset at all?
No foundation, you know.
Overruled.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, she did.
Was she hysterical?
No, she was not.
And what did you do after she asked you to do something?
She asked me,
Objection, Your Honor. Non-responsive.
Sustained. Mr. Shipp, the question was, what did you do after the request
Oh,
was
I'm
made
sorry.
of you? Not what
when I got off of work, I went over there.
Now, you're going over there. Was that in response to something she asked you to do?
Yes, it was.
And did you do exactly what she asked you to do?
Yes, I did.
Went to the defendant's home on Rockingham?
Yes, I did.
Did you take anything with you at that time?
No, I did not.
Did you drive your personal car onto the property at Rockingham?
I can't remember if I did or not. Sometimes I would park on the grounds, and sometimes I just park on the street.
Okay. Did you knock at the door?
Yes, I pushed the buzzer.
Did she come to the door?
She buzzed me in.
Okay. Did you knock at the door then?
No, I just walked on in. A lot of times when they buzz you in, your door is open, you walk in.
Okay, so you just walked on into the house.
Walked on in.
And did you see Nicole Brown at that time?
Yes, I did.
Now, what day of the week was this, if you know?
I'd have to say it was either, I think Tuesday or Wednesday.
And how many days after January 1, 1989, was it that you went to the defendant's house?
I think probably two
Probably what?
days.
Okay. So somewhere around the 3rd or 4th?
Right around the 3rd or 4th.
And did you see Nicole Brown at that time?
Yes, I did.
And did you notice anything unusual about her at that time?
Yes, if I remember, she had some injuries that had started to fade.
Objection, Your Honor. He doesn't know that. Cross speculation. No foundation.
Overruled.
What injuries did you see at that time, Mr. Shipp?
If I remember, I mean, I couldn't see it that well because I remember she had makeup on, but if I remember, there was some swelling about her head somewhere. I remember it was covered up pretty good.
She had makeup on,
She had makeup on.
covering her injuries,
Right.
but you could still see
I
some
could still
semblance
see,
of those injuries.
yeah, a little bit of it.
Excuse me, Mr. Darden, Mr. Shipp, you all are going to have to talk one at a time.
And did you have a conversation with her at that time?
Yes, I did.
What was her demeanor during that conversation?
When she first started out, she was like she always would be when we would talk. She was kind of joking. And then after a while, she just kind of got into actually what had happened and started telling me what had happened between her and OJ.
Did she show you anything at that time?
No, she did not.
What were your duties and responsibilities with the LAPD during the first week of January 1989?
At that particular time, I was on loan to West Los Angeles. Actually, it was the Valley Division Forgery Unit, which was actually out of West Los Angeles.
Okay. Now, does the LAPD have a police academy?
Yes, they do.
What exactly is a police academy?
Police Academy is where all the recruits receive your training prior to becoming a full-fledged Los Angeles police officer.
And were you ever assigned to teach any particular subject at the police academy?
Yes, I was.
Were you so assigned during January of 1989?
No, I was not.
When had you last been?
Actually, let me correct. Okay, I was assigned to the academy, but I was on loan to forgery. Was still a forgery
Okay, so you're still a member of the police academy teaching staff?
on paper.
And did you specialize in a particular area?
Yes, I did.
You taught a particular subject?
Yes, I did.
And what was that subject?
Domestic violence.
You taught domestic violence,
Yes, I did.
and you taught that to other police officers?
Other police officers and, yeah, and recruits.
What kinds of things did you teach those other police officers and recruits?
Pardon me?
What kinds of things did you teach those other police officers and recruits?
Overruled.
I taught them, for the most part, the dynamics and profiles of the victim and the batterer, relation to domestic violence.
What does that mean exactly?
Okay, for the most part, what it is, it's the makeup, how can I say this? I'm drawing a blank right now. But anyhow, for example, like the victim, it would talk about exactly what makes up a batterer. I mean, what makes up a victim as far as being like their background, low self-esteem, just different profiles.
And you also talked about the profiles of the batterer.
Right.
Now, may I have one moment, Your Honor?
Certainly.
Strike that. At some point, did you develop a teaching plan or teaching outline?
I didn't develop it. It was already given to me from the academy.
Your Honor, I have here in my hand that which appears to be a teaching plan. It may be marked People's 8.
All right, People's 8. How many pages is that? Appears to be multiple pages. Sure.
Does that appear to be a copy of teaching outline on domestic violence that you just mentioned a moment ago?
Yes, it is. It's a portion of it. It's enlarged from how I remember it, but yes, it is.
What is page 1 entitled?
Victim's pro.
Sure.
What is page 1 entitled?
Victim's profiles.
And page 2, what is it entitled?
Batterers profiles.
And page 3?
The cycles of battering.
And is there a 4th page?
Battering and arguing.
Does page 1 list some of the characteristics common to women who remain in abusive relationships?
Yes, it does.
Could you list those characteristics for us?
Yes, it has here self-blame and guilt. And the next one is lives in constant fear. High level of dependence. And then he says economic and or emotional. And it says commitment to relationship. Will do almost anything to keep the family together. Traditional sex role, meaning she's a mother.
I would object to the reading of this document at this point with this witness. It's not an evidence runner. And I think that there is a hearing that we're going to have about this entire subject matter.
Counsel has an objection. You should ask her to approach the sidebar.
All right, that's a speaking objection. Let me see counsel at the sidebar, please. All right, thank you, counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you that the testimony that you were hearing regarding the 1989 incident is limited. This testimony is limited to that particular incident at this time. All right. Mr. Darden.
Can I have the last question read back, Your Honor? What happened to Wilder?
I think you asked Mr. Shipp to tell us about the characteristics on the list.
You just read the characteristics of a batter's victim?
I got halfway.
Okay. Should we start at the top, from the beginning, or should we start midway, Your Honor?
Well, reading the document is really not what's at issue, isn't it?
Pardon me?
Isn't it at issue his discussions with the various parties?
Sure. Absolutely. Continue reading, please.
Well, Your Honor. I object to him reading the document, Your Honor.
Him reading the document is irrelevant to the conversations with the parties at this time, isn't it?
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, but you had this conversation with Nicole Brown at the house a couple of days after January 1, correct?
Yes, I did.
Now, did you have that teaching plan with you at that time?
The first time I went over there?
Yes.
No, I did not.
Was the defendant present that first time you went over?
No, he was not.
How long were you at the house that day, that first time?
First time I was there probably I think maybe 5 hours, somewhere around there.
Okay. And did you return to the house again?
The next day, yes, I did.
Okay. And did you bring anything with you at that time?
Yes, I did.
What did you bring with you?
I made copies of portions of the domestic violence lesson plan.
You made copies of the lesson plan in front of you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And when you arrived at the house, was Nicole Brown there?
Yes, she was.
Was the defendant there?
No, he wasn't.
Did you have a discussion with Nicole Brown?
Yes, I did.
Did you show her the profile of the battered woman,
Yes, I did.
the victim's profile?
Yes, I did.
Did you discuss it with her?
Yes, I did.
Did you discuss with her each of the characteristics of the victim profile?
Yeah, I showed them to her and just went down, and we read them together.
Did you ask her which characteristics seemed to apply to her?
I really can't remember if she actually came out and said, "Well, yeah, this is all me," and I really can't remember that. I don't recall her actually saying, "Yeah, this fits all me." It was the batterers thing that she focused the most on.
So she focused mainly on the batterer's profile.
Right.
And did she ask you to do something with that batterer's profile?
Can I answer yes or no?
Yes.
This is inappropriate.
No, it's an objection, but the question calls for a yes or no answer.
Am I answering it?
You may.
Yes, she did.
And did you do what she asked you to do?
Yes, I did.
When was the next time that you saw the defendant?
It might have been later on that week.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Do you recall where he was when you saw him?
At the house.
Were you also at the house?
Yes, I was.
And had you gone to the house for a specific reason that day?
Yes, I did.
And what was that reason?
To talk to OJ about the profiles on Nicole's request.
By the way, the second time that you visited Nicole that week, did she show you anything?
Yes, she did.
What did she show you?
She showed me some pictures.
Your Honor, I have it in my hand 3 Polaroid photographs. Will they be marked people's 9, 10, and 11?
Yes.
Join defense counsel. Other questions while we wait for defense counsel? Thank you, counsel. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Mr. Shipp, let me hand you people's 9 for identification. Do you recognize that photograph?
No, I don't.
You've never seen that photograph before?
No, I have not.
Who was the person depicted in the photograph, if you know?
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Who was the person in
Nicole.
the photograph?
Nicole Brown.
That's Nicole Brown?
Yeah, that's Nicole Brown.
That picture wasn't shown to you on during that first week of January 1989?
No, it was not.
Showing you people's 10 for identification. Do you recognize that photograph?
No, I do not.
Was that photograph shown to you?
No, it was not.
Showing you people's 11. Who's depicted in that photograph?
Nicole Brown Simpson.
Was that photograph shown to you?
No, it was not.
You've never seen these photographs before?
No, those weren't the ones that she showed me.
These are not the photographs that Nicole Brown Simpson showed you in the first week of January 1989?
No.
Yes, Your Honor, 3 times.
Overruled.
So the record is clear. Each of these photographs depict Nicole Brown, is that right?
That's correct.
But you were shown some photographs.
I was shown some photographs.
And were those photographs of Nicole?
Yes, they were.
How many photographs did she show you?
Approximately 4, maybe 5.
Were those photographs Polaroid photographs?
I think they may, I can't remember. I think they may have been. No, she told me she took them of herself. And so I can't really remember if they were Polaroid or not.
Did those photographs depict Nicole's face?
They weren't really that close up. They were more, if I remember, they were more of her body. The ones that I saw.
What parts of her body were depicted in those photographs?
I remember her left arm stands out, and also her, if I'm not mistaken, her left upper thigh.
Any other parts of her body that you recall?
That's all I can remember.
And did you notice anything unusual on her left arm and on her upper thigh, that is, as shown in those photographs?
That's evidence.
Overruled on that basis.
No.
Sustained.
The photos she showed me were from the
Hold on.
past.
Hold on.
Okay.
me see counsel at sidebar. Thank you, Madam Reporter. Mr. Darden?
The photographs that you saw, sir, of Nicole Brown's left arm and thigh, did you notice any injury to those areas on her body in those photographs?
Yes, I did.
What did you see?
There were like bruises, darkish, kind of bluish color.
Why did she show you those photographs?
Sustained.
Do you know why she showed you those photographs?
Probably. Sustained.
You were having a discussion, though, about the batterer's profile. Is that correct?
Correct.
Was it during that discussion that she showed you those photographs?
Yes, it was.
And during your discussion of the batterer's profile, did you and Nicole Brown agree on a specific course of action?
Yes, we did. That's when,
That's the question.
Correct. Next question.
Did you intend to pursue the matter further?
yes, I did,
What did you tell Nicole Brown you were going to do?
that I would meet with OJ.
For what reason?
To discuss the batterer's profiles.
And did you meet with the defendant?
Yes, I did.
Did you show him the batterer's profile?
Yes, I did.
And that profile does list certain characteristics of a batterer. Is that right?
That's correct.
Now, during that discussion, did you discuss with him the events of January 1, 1989?
Yes, I did.
Relate to us the content of that conversation, please.
OJ had said that they had gone out that night. He and Nicole, Marcus, and Kathy. And they had had a pretty good time. That they had too much to drink. They were partying too much, and when they got back, they got in an argument.
Did he say what the argument was about?
Yeah, I mean, he said that they had been kind of intimate, and then that in the middle of it, they started arguing, for the most part.
What do you mean they were kind of intimate and in the middle of it they started arguing?
Well, they were, from what he told me, they were making love, and I guess Nicole had wanted to stop for whatever reasons, and they began to argue.
Did he tell you what happened next?
I believe at the time he told me that Nicole was the aggressor and came after him. And that he was acting in self-defense.
What did he say that he did to Nicole in self-defense?
He had told me what he had, at the time, that he had was defending himself and had pushed her away. And he didn't really hit her.
He said that all he did was push her away.
At the time,
Did he say what happened next?
I think he said that, and she got hysterical and called the police on him.
Did you ask the defendant if he beat her up?
No, I didn't. Not at that time, I didn't.
Okay. Okay, continue on then with the conversation you were having with the defendant regarding the batterer's profile.
Okay, what happened then was we were talking, and after he explained to me what happened, then I told him what Nicole said had happened. And I told him that Nicole had advised me that he had hit her, and that after looking at the profiles, she felt that they all fit him to the T.
Sustained. Hold on. Curious to disregard any comment by the witness as to what Nicole Brown Simpson said at that time. Mr. Darden. No.
Well, I'm a little confused as to what's in and what's out now.
Sure. Just that portion. From the part I told him what Nicole said had happened, and I told him what Nicole had advised. That's all stricken. Anything this witness just said that was said by Nicole Brown Simpson is stricken as hearsay.
Okay, without telling us what Nicole told you and what you told the defendant, what was the defendant's reaction?
At the time, after we went over all the profiles, he denied that any of those were him, except for maybe one.
And which one was that?
The jealous. He said, maybe I might be a little jealous, and that was it.
Read to us exactly what the profile says about jealous.
So,
Let me see that. Thank you. And do you have a copy of this, Counsel? Well, they don't have their copy here. Mr. Darden, I'd feel more comfortable if you asked the witness one additional foundational question regarding whether or not that was actually discussed. Second item.
Mr. Shipp, showing you page 2 of the document, directing your attention specifically to lines 3 and 4. You as a defendant discuss specifically those 2 lines?
just the pathologically jealous.
Is that what the profile says, pathologically jealous?
Yes, it does.
And you and he discussed that?
Well, that's the only one that the defendant said, I might be a little. He just said maybe. He didn't really say, I am jealous. He said maybe, a little bit that one.
He said he may be pathologically jealous. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Did he express to you at all that he was concerned about Nicole Brown's physical well-being?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
Well, he had, he said he loved Nicole and he would never do anything to hurt her. And it was just an isolated incident.
Now, at that point, I'm sorry, he said what?
He said it was an isolated incident.
Now, had you read anything in the newspapers up to that point that is about the January 1, 89 incident?
In the newspapers?
Yeah.
No, it hadn't been made public then.
At some point, was it made public?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was a week or 2 weeks. It wasn't until like a week and a half later afterwards.
Well, after it was made public, did you have a discussion with the defendant again?
No, it was, oh, yes, I did. I'm sorry. I did afterwards.
After it became public?
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me think about this 1 second. No, it was before it was made public. I had a discussion with him again.
Okay. And did that discussion was it in regard to publicity?
Yes, it was.
What did the defendant say about that?
Well, at the time, he was very upset because he thought that, you know, he was going to lose Hertz and his image was going to be tarnished. And he was just asking me to tell Nicole, you know, hey, this is never going to happen again. And, you know, that he loved her.
Well, the city attorney was considering filing charges at that time, correct?
Correct.
Did he ask you to say anything to Nicole about filing charges?
Yes, he had asked me to get a, to see if I could have her sign off the report, not press charges.
He asked you to see if you could get her to sign off the report?
Yes, he did.
And what does signing off the report mean?
Meaning saying that if she were to sign it, that she was not agreeing that he, you know, had actually battered her, that she didn't want to go through with the actual crime report and have it go through the process of the city attorney's office.
Did you ever contact the city attorney's office on the defendant's behalf?
Never.
Did you ever speak to any supervisor in the LAPD on the defendant's behalf?
Yes, I did.
Why did you do that?
Well, here once again, I was caught between a rock and a hard place, and I was wanted to try and help OJ out, but at the same time, I felt that I didn't want to do it because of what I knew as far as, you know, that type of relationship. But I brought the paper over to her.
Overruled.
Did someone ask you to bring the paper to Nicole?
Yeah, OJ did.
And what is this paper that you're referring to?
What I remember, it was a document. I can't remember what the actual wording is. It was something to the effect that, you know, I do not wish to press charges at this time. Something like that. I can't remember.
Okay, but you were a member of the LAPD at that time, is that
Right.
correct? Warren police officer.
Right. Yes, I was.
And you did take it to her.
I took it to her.
Did she sign it?
No, she didn't.
And to go back to the issue of whether you contacted any supervisors on the defendant's behalf, did you contact any of your supervisors at the LAPD?
It wasn't my immediate supervisor, but it was the supervisor that was handling the case,
And who would that be?
Lee Kingsford.
And was he in the detective section at West LA Station?
Yes, he was. He was the Detective 3.
That's the supervising detective.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Now, did someone ask you to contact the supervising detective at LAPD?
I wasn't specifically asked to contact an individual. It was just to, hey, Ron, can you get this taken care of?
Well, did the defendant tell you how or what to do to take care of it?
No, I didn't.
Well, what was your understanding of that request. What did he mean by take care of it?
If I could,
Oh, well,
if I could take the, if I could bring the document that Nicole would sign it, because at the time, Nicole wasn't sure what she wanted to do.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Did you remain friends with the defendant?
Yes, I did.
Did you remain friends with Nicole?
Yes, I did.
And were you still friends with the defendant and Nicole on June 12, 1994?
Yes, I was.
At some point, you learned that Nicole Brown was dead. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing because of the other noise.
all right. I think they're moving next door. Madam Reporter, what's your paper supply status? All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a recess now for 1/2 hour. I don't know if the bailiffs told you, but we had a modification of our schedule today. Some of the court staff and some of the attorneys have asked to attend a funeral this afternoon. We're going to take a 1/2 hour break today, or right now. When we resume, we'll go till 2 o'clock, and then we'll recess for the day. All right, please remember my admonition to you. Don't discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Don't allow anybody to talk to you about the case. And we'll see you back here in Deputy Magnura, Deputy Jex. Let's 20 minutes after 12. All right, 1/2 hour break upstairs in the lounge. All right, and you can step down.